One reason I've always loved SNL is because it's genuinely live. A lot of people don't realize that. We're actually live right now, which means I could say something truly shocking. Like I drive a Prius. And then there's a situation which is even better, which is if you install solar power. I know a company that's pretty good at that.
Is there anything that, like, when you play a game, you're like, I wish it did this, or I wish you're obviously thinking about, lots of things, but when you play games, are you satisfied, or are there things that frustrate you about games? What do you want to see games do in the future?
I don't know if I should say. That's all of SpaceX in 2002. As you can see, I'm a dancing machine. But I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I was a bit more R-rated. I don't know.
Okay.
I have this complicated device which has 2 buttons.
I think I would buy it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Tell me a little bit about this car. Give me the sort of gadget rundown, like the specs, the stats. Like how many cylinders does it have?
It has no cylinders. So the
I was
car
joking. I was joking.
John, I mean, really?
On the ship and the booster, codenamed BFR.
What does that stand for again?
Well, it's a bit of it's like sort of a Rorschach test in acronym form. But it is very big. Yeah.
Where I was just stuck in traffic going, it took me an hour to go 3 miles. So, I don't know who's in charge of the damn 405 construction, but they're a bloody idiot. And I hate them. Like lying on a beach as my main thing, it just sounds like the worst. That sounds horrible to me.
Just the boredom factor.
I would go bonkers. I would, I would have to be on serious drugs. I mean, And now, all the time I hear, Elon Musk, all he ever does is smoke weed on podcasts. Like, I go from podcast to podcast, lighting up joints.
So I think, if you have any experience in programming and you've been building things since you're little, you should really come join us.
Yeah, but can I play Crisis?
When I watch you doing all these things, I'm like, how does this motherfucker have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
Because I'm an alien. But then, like, Ford threatened to sue us. Ford killed sex. Would you like me to sign something or something, or what would you like me to do?
Yes, of course.
It's a new sign. I've never done this before. This is the first time.
Really?
Yeah, I've never signed a life-size version of me. What else can we do with this truck? What if we shot it? Let's shoot it.
Yeah, people are worried about 5G, right?
Don't worry about it.
No, not at all?
I mean, no. Like, let me put it this way. Like, if I had cell phones, if I had a helmet of cell phones,
right,
strapped around my head and around my nuts, I would not worry. Yeah.
I think I had like about 180 million.
$180 million. Yeah. What do you do with that money? I mean, do you buy a sex robot? Do you
of course.
build your own volcano?
But, what do you do after the sex robot? The Model 3 also fits 5 adults comfortably. Now, comfortably is the important part here. Okay.
What kind of government do you envision for the first Martian colony?
We're have to be
and what's your title?
Yeah, exactly. Emperor or God Emperor? I don't know. It might be too much. I don't know.
It was just strange. It was like, I'm strange. That was my conclusion.
You have to watch my jokes here. Not everyone gets irony. Must remember.
When I started the first internet company, Zip2, with my brother and another person, Greg Curry, it wasn't really with the thought of being wealthy. I've got nothing against being wealthy, but
if you buy a gasoline car that's not full self-driving, this is like riding a horse and using a flip phone. I'm like, hello.
Reminder: we've got now 3 cars in production. There's the X, the S, and the 3. Those letters can be combined however you'd like.
My question for you is, as a horse owner, I'm wondering what the towing capacity for the truck.
Sure. I didn't mean to insult horses earlier, by the way.
No, it's fine.
Horses are cool.
There's something in the front you didn't expect. I didn't expect it either.
So, I guess, as you can see, you can fit... Oh, what a surprise.
And then Gigafactory Europe. As you can see, we've made great progress here. We just put this picture in like literally 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I'll go right into the presentation. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
It's a pickup truck that can carry a pickup truck. Hey. You're probably wondering, okay, will I be able to charge my car? Well, this is like probably the second most common question I get on Twitter, like, the supercharger is full, what is wrong with you? Why are you such a huge idiot? I'm like, sorry.
How does that manifest itself? Could we see you being creative?
I mean, it's somewhat cliched, but it happens a lot in the shower. I don't know what it is about showers or... Yeah, exactly. Get the camera. Like, yay. One good friend of mine collected a whole series of videos of rockets blowing up and made me watch those. He just didn't want me to lose all my money.
I'll wake up and see if there are any emergencies on text or email, and often there are. So a ton of what I deal with is not actually fun or interesting. It's like chores. So I've tried really hard not to do my chores, but then if I don't do my chores, things go to hell. So, oh man, you have to do your chores.
The camera, with the camera, and then somebody else with the camera.
It's just camera envy at this point. He's just trying to, he saw me with this and he's like, listen.
I'll get my camera out.
Yeah, you take a video of me.
I can take a video of this, of you guys taking a
Then you
video.
get
This is the
also
video of the
sometimes
video of the video.
Go back there.
Your future, man. Where's my jetpack?
You know, you can actually, if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of interesting videos.
One question. Critics say that Tesla is stealing water from the region.
This region has so much water. Look around you.
But the local water supply says there's no more water for the development stage.
No, this is completely wrong. It's like water everywhere here. Does this seem like a desert to you?
Okay, dankeschön.
That's ridiculous.
What do you expect?
It rains a lot. So that's what the free market. I don't mean to have it in black and white. It's like it's not so long ago. They didn't even have color cameras back then. It was 2010.
I mean, we saw what happened with Prius. I mean, you can go to Sunnyvale and entire supermarket parking lots are filled with unsold Priuses. Did that affect you guys at all?
You know, I don't think that was a huge impact because most people aren't buying the $100,000 sports car because of, you know, to save money on gas.
And
but we need to hook it into the air conditioning to really make the air conditioning work.
have you thought about creating an air conditioning system? I know you have. Trick question.
Cannot answer questions about future potential
Okay.
What are the things that the Department of the Air Force should be investing more in other than reusable rockets, from your perspective?
Again, I can't emphasize enough how important reusable rockets are. You'll love it.
Reasons why people buy pickup trucks, you know, in the U.S. is like because it's like the most badass truck, you know, like like which one's the toughest truck, and you know, it's like what's tougher than a truck? A tank. Like a tank from the future.
On the one hand, you've got a car that is one of the safest cars in the world, a Volvo S60. There are a lot of cars that say they are 5-star, and they are sort of 5-star. That's not a scientific metric, but even though they are something like the Volvo, great car, by normal standards, very safe.
The Volvo is arguably the second safest car in the world. But I think it is obvious which car you would prefer to be in an accident.
So Silicon Valley, accurate or not accurate?
The show?
Yeah.
Reality, the truth is stranger than fiction. All the crazy stuff you see in that show, Silicon Valley, the reality is way crazier than that.
If there's any chance that you could put a roof rack on the X, that's what she's looking for.
I mean, it's tricky because we have the fancy doors.
They're awesome.
The doors are awesome, but if you have a roof rack, it's like, how do you stop the doors from smashing on? The Model Y has a roof rack, though.
It's not big enough for all the kids.
Really? It seats 7.
Not normal kids.
Okay.
Exactly. A lot of questions. Yeah, I think we're actually making rapid progress with Solar Roof. I think we're now making rapid progress with the Solar Roof. And then we're going to have a campaign which is kind of like, well, I'm dating myself here, I want my MTV. So I want my Solar Roof. Where is it?
If some fool wants to copy this design, go for it. We have like funny things on the good Pikachu over there.
I love that.
We think we'll probably have a prototype sometime next year that basically looks like this. And it's intended to be friendly, of course. I think we need to watch out about population collapse. They think that, well, there's so many humans, maybe too many humans, but that's just because they live in a city. If you're in an aircraft and you look down, they say, if you dropped a cannonball, how often would you hit a person? Basically never.
Do you ever feel pressure by others' expectations of you and your endeavors in light of the progress you've made thus far, is the short version. And more specifically, when you look just at Tesla alone, and you look at a company with a $54 billion valuation,
Right.
and seemingly by typical market metrics, no justifiable reason for that.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, I'm
Sir.
curious.
Sir.
I'm just, in all seriousness, do you...
To what extent are you interested in publishing or open sourcing anything that you do for the future?
I want to stick with China for a second. You're operating there, selling there. What do you make of what they're doing to the tech entrepreneurs there, the tech moguls?
Where is Jack Ma?
Where is Jack Ma?
It is fundamentally extremely expensive to create the system, so somehow that has to be paid for. I'm not sure how to pay for it if it's fully open sourced. Yeah, unless people want to work for free. Thought that Tesla would fail. Many of them unwisely chose to short our stock. I presume that those people are not here today.
There are 10,000 unique parts in a Model 3, and these are coming from all over the world. But as you can see with this chart, which looks like we're being shot with ICBMs, I think that is the ICBM chart, actually. What were the thoughts back then? What were some of the comments? Let's see. The internet is forever. Steve getting his car. That's the Tesla team handing over the first car. And there's me.
So this is a roof that's going to be better looking than a normal roof. It's going to last practically forever. Like I wanted to have an infinite year warranty, but then the finance department said, well, that's difficult to account for. So I said, well, okay, it's infinite or when your house falls down, whichever comes first. Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. And by here, I mean...
Sure, electronically.
I wanted to ask you, say tomorrow you get a phone call from Joe Biden and he says...
I think that's unlikely, but sure. Okay. At least no one at Tesla has actually brought up whether they care about this bill or not. I think if this bill happened or didn't happen, I don't know. We don't think about it at all, really.
Okay. What about the support though for the charging network? I mean, there are parts of this bill and
I would delete it. Delete.
There's some other good things in this bill that some would argue. I mean, a lot of money earmarked for R&D. Would you want to put that towards something?
No.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you a little bit about humor. You're a pretty funny guy.
I mean, I think I'm funny. I find my jokes not funny. I mean, I do crack a lot of jokes. They don't all land. But you know that there's actually only three titles that actually mean anything for a corporation. It's president, secretary, and treasurer. And technically, they could be the same person. And all these other titles are just basically made up. So CEO is a made-up title, CFO is a made-up title, general counsel, a made-up title. Don't mean anything.
That's a nice. I think a room of CEOs are how we feel about that.
I changed my title to Techno King. And by the way, this is a formal SEC filing. I'm legally a formal whatever Techno King. I just did that as kind of like a joke because just to show that these titles don't mean a lot.
I'm not Warren Buffett's biggest fan, frankly, but you know he sits there and he reads all these annual reports, which are super boring. Does anybody want that job? I think most people do not. I don't want that job.
A lot of people are worried about democracy, the future of democracy, the state of democracy. Part of that's tied to Silicon Valley.
We have democracy?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, are you? My question is, are you worried about democracy?
Where?
Here.
Okay.
For a start here.
You know, when you say take the red pill, do you worry about sending none too veiled?
I said take both pills.
Take both. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, actually, when I said take the red pill, I didn't realize that was some like politically charged phrase.
Right.
I was just referring to the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So I could go on and on about word origins.
The etymology.
Que sera is
No, we're not. No, literally no.
No que sera sera.
Que sera sera is not Spanish. It's English. It's English stolen from Latin. About 500 years ago.
There's like a Wikipedia hole for
and it means
2
nothing
hours.
like the Latin phrase.
So what happened with Grimes, and do you have a new girlfriend?
Oh man! I mean, this place is basically like a technology monastery, you know.
Technology monastery.
Yeah.
I believe with that.
There's hardly any. I mean, there's some in here, but not many.
Yes.
And it's remote.
Yeah.
And we do technology.
Yes.
So this is the techno monastery.
I mean, I think I'm funny. I find my jokes not funny. I do crack a lot of jokes. They don't all land.
When I asked you what is the meaning of life during a dinner.
42. AAA of Southern California hugely increased Tesla insurance premiums. There is a simple solution. Change your insurance provider.
$180 million. What do you do with that money? I mean, do you buy a sex robot? Do you
Of course.
build your own volcano?
But you know, what do you do after the sex robot? So Roadster is called Roadster because it's a roadster.
If you buy a gasoline car that's not full self-driving, this is like riding a horse and using a flip phone. I'm like, hello.
My question for you is, as a horse owner, I'm wondering what the towing capacity for the truck.
Sure. I didn't mean to insult horses earlier, by the way.
No, it's fine.
Horses are cool.
I think they're trying. I'd like to be Irony Man.
Irony Man.
I just defeat villains using the power of irony.
There you go.
It's like, oh, too much irony. I can't stand it. Please, no, stop the irony. Don't make me use irony again. Here we go.
Well, now we're taking the elevator.
Hopefully we don't catch on anything on the way up.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I used to have a watch.
What happened?
My phone tells the time.
What's the actual biggest failure that you've gone through to get to where you are?
I do not have a good answer for that.
I mean, we blew up 3 rockets in the beginning. Because we also got some bullshit press about like, oh, the DOE's giving us money for the Roadster, and it's like, no, it's like literally impossible for them to do that. I made the mistake of calling some the New York Times reporter who knowingly falsely reported that a douchebag. Now, if somebody knowingly falsely reports something,
look, the truth hurts.
Are they not
right?
a douchebag?
Where you want to go, anywhere in the universe. Mars. Wow, we're there.
So let me step out of character for those who say it hasn't changed me at all. Yes, I mean, if you have millions of dollars, it changes your lifestyle. And anyone who says differently is just full of bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I have like this huge house in Bel Air and a McLaren and like jets and all sorts of things. It's awesome.
In the case of the Gigafactory, it's a $5 billion investment, capital investment to get that factory going. I didn't know this until we did the press conference. Actually, that over 20 years, the Nevada incentives added up to $1.3 billion. I actually didn't even know this. Literally, I learned it at the press conference. I'm like, really? The thing is that they took what added up over 20 years and made it sound like Nevada was writing us a $1.3 billion check. And I'm still waiting for that check. Did it get lost in the mail? I don't know.
Can I have a car?
Yes.
For free?
No.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy am I going to be if I buy this car?
I mean, 11.
11. 11 on the scale of a 10. That's pretty darn good.
I
Do I have to pay extra for that?
I guarantee if you show up at the party and the other guy's got a Ferrari and another guy's got the Lamborghini and another guy's got the Aston Martin and you have the Tesla, you will walk away with the woman.
This beautiful roadster costs a fortune.
$109,000.
$109,000.
It's a deal.
What I've been asked to do is kind of talk about the various things that I've done and what led me from one thing to the next, because it isn't completely intuitive how somebody would get from internet payments to rockets.
This has gotten a lot of attention, and Elon's taken a lot of flack for various redesigns. You've been portrayed as a micromanager, redesigning the headlights or whatever.
I thought it was a nano manager. Just for a laugh, on the very first test flight of Dragon, we launched a giant wheel of cheese.
Nice.
And sent it to orbit and back. It was a giant wheel of Gruyere from the Beverly Hills Cheese Shop, and it was the biggest wheel of cheese that they had.
How much did it cost you to send that wheel of cheese to space?
It was like about $100 million. Yeah.
I guess, is there any reason you think you've had so many entrepreneurs in your extended family? Is this just something you were taught, or how did that work out?
Well, I should point out my extended family is quite big. Not all of them are successful entrepreneurs.
Yes. Statistically, it's just.
I have a lot the cousins. You have
haven't met all the deadbeats.
Right, exactly. Only a few of them should be running companies.
The potential for optimism is, I think, appreciated by very few people. Hey. As usual, Tesla demos are coming in hot. We always have to be careful about don't go down the Terminator path. That's I thought maybe we should start off with a video of like the Terminator starting off with this, skull crushing, but that might be, people might take that too seriously. So yeah, let's fire away with some questions. I think there's a mic at the front and a mic at the back. Just throw mics at people. And I think actually Tesla's a good entity to do it from a governance standpoint, because we're a publicly traded company with one class of stock, and that means that the public controls Tesla, and I think that's actually a good thing. So if I go crazy, you can fire me. This is important. Maybe I've gone crazy. I don't know. Because then, if the public doesn't like what Tesla's doing, the public can buy shares in Tesla and vote differently. Like, it's very important that I can't just do what I want. Sometimes people think that, but it's not true. And as the world transitions to software 2.0,
and that's on the bingo card.
As someone I know has to know how to drink 5 tequilas. Let's see. Software 2.0.
All right, so you've seen a couple robots today. Let's do a quick time.
Do you feel sometimes that your many business interests might get in the way of you having opinion? I mean, for example, Tesla has major connections in China. Do you wouldn't have a certain opinion on something or feel uncomfortable about saying something because of your other business interests elsewhere?
Do I look uncomfortable? Actually, I do. I was trying to look uncomfortable.
Since you became CEO, there's been another story in town.
No, I'm not CEO anymore.
Okay, you're chief twit, or what are you?
No, my dog Floki is the CEO.
Okay.
Although sometimes I forget what the BBC stands for, but what is it? Just kidding.
You know what it stands for.
Yes, I do.
If you don't care about the money, you could just give it to someone that you think is a good person to run Twitter.
Who do you think that might be?
I'm not the boss of Twitter. Honestly, I have no idea who could run Twitter.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
Okay, let's...
I know the BBC, for example, is not thrilled about being labelled state-affiliated media.
Not exactly. I mean, I was going to get to that later, but let's go for it now. It's officially objected to that term.
I keep telling you, I'm not the CEO of Twitter. My dog is the CEO of Twitter.
Okay. Have you got any...
It's a great dog.
Other than the dog.
He's very alert, and it's hard to get anything by him.
Okay, that's good to know.
Many of these people have predicted that Twitter will cease to function. Their predictions have not turned out to be true. I mean, we're literally on Twitter right now.
Right.
So it must work. Do you like the BBC? Do you like BBC?
Okay, yeah, we're not going to...
Oh, I can't interview you?
Obviously, I work for the BBC.
But do you like BBC?
I know. I see what you're doing. I'm not going to respond to that. Okay. I think we can finish the interview there. If you want to continue, thank you very much.
Well,
for
come on.
This. I really appreciate it.
Sure, you like BBC. Come on.
I'm not engaging. All right, Elon. Honestly.
So now, when we started out, and actually for many years, they said what we were doing was impossible. But then when we weren't quite on schedule, they were saying we're just late, and that's why we specialize in making the impossible merely late.
Where you want to go, anywhere in the universe. Mars.
Wow, we're there.
Okay, we're going to give the Porsche a little bit of a head start. This is the actual truck. This is not CGI.
All right, so you've seen a couple robots today. Let's do a quick timeline recap.
About how many years do you think we got left?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of late-stage civilization vibes these days.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news about Russian roulette is 5 of the barrels are unloaded.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You don't have to clap after every slide unless you really want to, but...
So, and people always want to know what our next product is. But this is not the time to...
My brother and I have this rule that if we're at a party, we're not allowed to talk about either AI or the simulation. Because otherwise the conversations go there so often.
Do you like the BBC? Do you like BBC?
Okay, yeah, we're not going to...
There's a decent bit of skeptics in the room.
What?
Yeah. He's never heard of it. The guy works in space. He didn't hear what's going on.
Times of their badge this morning, and then you called them diarrhea. You called them.
You did.
We will probably make, obviously this is just Elon's guess. So, don't sue me.
I said it was the Twitter equivalent of diarrhea.
Okay, it's not literally diarrhea, but...
No, it's it's a metaphor. But an accurate one. Do you like BBC?
I know. I see what you're doing. I'm not going to respond to that. Okay. I think we can finish the interview there. If you want to continue, thank you very much.
Listen, if I'm so smart, why did I pay so much for Twitter then?
Why you tweet certain things. The question
What, they're like Soros's Magneto?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Sorry, Magneto.
Controversial things like that.
I shouldn't have said that.
You have a sense of humor, because a guy as important as you, who makes changes, could use your powers for evil and not good. The fact that...
Absolutely.
You could.
I am definitely not evil. What's it? What?
You like laughing, you like to be funny.
I kill me.
Right.
I wanted to give you something, actually.
To restore the liberty of the bee was very expensive, guys. You made me buy the company.
Many of these people have predicted that Twitter will cease to function. Their predictions have not turned out to be true. I mean, we're literally on Twitter right now.
Right.
So it must work.
You're dealing with two massive industries, very distinct worlds. How do you segregate those two things?
Right, and I have my kids actually spend a lot of time with my kids,
And
by the way.
4 kids.
5 kids, yeah.
5 kids. Yeah.
Right.
How do you manage that?
Yeah, that is tricky.
Yeah, no kidding.
I try to get out of the deal.
Well, you told me you wanted to ask.
To get out. Dragging me back in.
But
actually, I'm not interested in Mars. I just came back from there, so.
I mean, I think it's reasonable for an advertiser to decide what.
It'll be the fastest to 100 miles an hour. 4.2 seconds to 100 miles an hour. Faster than that jet over there. Okay.
What's your approach to risk? How would you talk about that?
Yeah, so I'll go right into the presentation. Blah, blah, blah.
You said that you would like to speak in French. Oh my goodness. Zut alors. Bonjour Paris. Bonjour Paris.
A lot of people are worried about democracy.
Wait, we have democracy?
Democracy.
Where? So, honestly, a bunch of these things just feel like you're living in a Dilbert cartoon. I mean, any given company, they should have like, what's your Dilbert ratio? Okay, it's not 0.
You have been always proven right. Now there is almost. Not always. Almost. Listen, if I'm so smart, why did I pay so much for Twitter then?
We think we'll probably have a prototype sometime next year, and it's intended to be friendly, of course.
It's entertaining. So
I think entertaining is one way some people in the room describe Twitter today.
Train wrecks arguably are entertaining.
Train wrecks happen sometime. They happen sometime if you're dedicated.
Like a train wreck.
What is your thought on how to approach new industries, innovative areas? Is there no crystal ball, or is it a crystal ball or a Ouija board?
Well, definitely the Ouija board, of course. Much more reliable than the crystal ball.
And how do they define hate speech is a big question mark, I think.
Well, it turned out one of the hate speech terms was literally George Soros.
His name.
Yeah. All the time I hear Elon Musk, all he ever does is smoke weed on podcasts. Like I go from podcast to podcast, lighting up joints. It happened once. It's like reducing O.J. Simpson to murderer. That was one time.